Hello, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Basics from Dice to Roleplay. Today, we're going to be talking about what you need to ask your DM, your Dungeon Master, before you begin playing your game. Whenever you're playing in a group, your Dungeon Master is going to do a lot of work so that you can have fun and you can enjoy the game and the world that you're about to enter. So it's always good to put in do your homework, do your work as well. And that might include talking with your DM and asking questions so that you're not going to ruin or mess up what they're trying to do. So here are some basic questions you might want to consider asking your Dungeon Master prior to starting the game. First of all, it might be nice to know what the setting of the campaign is. You could ask your DM where the campaign takes place and just kind of the general theme so you can create a character that fits into the world. Now, hopefully you and your DM are actually working together on this so that this kind of thing doesn't even need to be asked, but you never know. Maybe you're playing with someone completely new. Maybe you're playing with someone over the internet. It's always nice to ask these questions. It also helps you understand the kind of scope and scale of the world you're entering into. Your DM would also appreciate your interest in their work since they're setting up all these different things for you to play in. So it shows that you care and that you're interested in playing their game. Plus, it'll make it a lot easier for you to create a character that doesn't completely stand out, right? If you're a robot, a sentient robot walking through like an elven forest, you're going to stand out a little bit. So it's always nice to know what's happening. You might also want to ask a DM how they handle natural 20s. Some DMs handle these things different than others do. And so knowing how they're going to handle it beforehand might stop some sort of argument or angry thing happening in your game. So, right, some DMs give 20s on the die a special effect or meaning, and some don't. DMs can handle these amazing rolls a few different ways. Some DMs might say any natural 20 gives you an automatic success or crit, and that includes a skill check. Others might say that only natural 20s in combat provide extravagant awesomeness. And meanwhile, some might say natural 20s don't really do anything, it's just a lucky roll. It's important to understand how the game is going to be played before starting, and so this is just an example of one of the many ways the DM may change the way the game is played based on their game. So it's always good to just ask about the rules and how they're going to be playing them. This is just one way to broach that topic. You might also, if you're a newer player, want to have a discussion with the DM to know exactly how your mechanics and abilities work. If they're trying to play a game with you, right, they're going to want to make sure that you are competent with your character. And so it's always nice to have that conversation with the DM prior to that. So when you're in the middle of the game and something comes up, you're not like, I don't know. And then you have to spend, an hour searching through rulebooks to figure it out. If you handle that beforehand, you'll know what's going on and it'll be a lot better. So have that discussion about the mechanics of your character before the game even starts. If you don't understand your abilities, the DM should be able to help you. And if they can't, they can work with you to help that you and they understand what's going on, especially if you're using a new race, some sort of homebrew, whatever, or you're just unfamiliar. You could also ask them, beyond that first question, how can you better tailor the character to the world they've built, right? Although you should always try to find out about the setting of the world before you play, you could ask if there's something specific they had in mind for you as a player. The DM would appreciate your effort to help make their campaign run smoothly and help fit into the lore they're coming up with. Being amicable to your DM is going to help everybody enjoy the experience. Being combative, although that's what the game is about, doesn't have to be personality-wise. It can just be a game. It's also nice to know who it is you're playing with and how many people you're going to be interacting with. So you might want to ask who it is you're going to be playing. Knowing this information is going to help you make decisions about how you're going to build your character as well. If it's just going to be you and one other person, you're not going to pick certain skills and stuff. Whereas if you're playing with, multiple people, you can focus on one specific task that your character will be good at because you'll know other characters could be good at other things. So it might be fun to reach out to the other players and talk with them about their ideas and play style so you know what's going to be happening, what you're going to be getting into. Maybe there's a player that you're going to be playing with who's kind of a butt. You might want to know that beforehand. And then, of course, you should always ask the DM, what can you do to thank them? They are putting in so much work to make this an enjoyable thing. Ask them what you can do for them in return. This could be a gift, a treat, or something else entirely. It might be nice to buy your DM dinner at some point for saying, hey, you put in all this work for me. Thank you so much for giving me an enjoyable experience. You could give them some gifts, whatever. The point being is you need to have a good relationship with your DM, just like you need to have good relationships with your friends or your family member, not matter. I mean, sure, you want to be friends with the matter your family's made out of too, I guess. Point being is, it's not a one-way street. They're doing a lot for you. You can also pitch in and do stuff for them as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching Dungeons & Dragons Basics from Dice to Roleplay. We've got one more episode left before we're going to switch into a combat scenario so you can see how exactly this game works. So we're going to actually have some simulated battles for you to see. I hope you're excited, as I am, and we'll see you then. Bye.